we are on to the promotion. This is the pass and fail part. So how do you set the system up so that it picks up learners that would fail and those that would pass? So this part, I'm going to start with the pre-primary. I'm starting with the primary, actually grade 1 up to 3. So this one, according to the promotional policy for 2015, that's the one that I'm using, page 7, this way you have it. It says out of the 7 subjects, these learners are doing 7 subjects. For the learner to be promoted or to be considered pass or to have passed, they need to have the following. Out of the 7 subjects, they need to have an E grade or better in 6 out of the 7 subjects. They must have E. 6 subjects, they must have E out of the 7. And then the next one is an E grade or better in the language used as a medium of learning. So this could be Rukwangali if it's the medium of learning, or English. So the medium of learning must be E, and then an E grade in reading. Reading is a subject, so they must have E, and then another E in mathematics. So in other words, the subject in which they are using as a medium of instruction must have an E. That's one. Number 2, reading must have an E. Number 3, math must have E. That means these 3 subjects, they must have E. There is none of these 3 subjects must have a symbol below E. So, and then there's this other one here. So but when the first and second requirement is met, the third one is automatically met. This is from at least from our experience, speaking from our experience. So 6 subjects, that means they are allowed to fail only one, and that one subject must not be this subject that's being used as a medium of instruction or medium of learning. That subject must not be reading, then that subject must not be English. That's what it means. So now that is what it means. And then I'm going to grade 5. So it's the same. These learners are having they have 6 subjects, so they are allowed to fail one, and that subject must not be English. That's one thing. And it must not be mathematics. They are allowed to fail any other subject, but not these 2. And then that is for this one. So in your system setting, it means English must be set to compulsory, and mathematics must also be set to compulsory. This is for grade 5 to 7. You have to set these subjects under the let me just select this one. So under this subject setup, subject grade, you need to have it, for example, English second language. So let me just open it up and see how it looks like. This is how we've set it. It's English and it's under the group of compulsory, and then these 2 are ticked. Both of them are ticked. So make sure you have it under this compulsory. Okay, Now for grade 4, it means you must have the medium of instruction. Okay, medium of learning must also be set to compulsory. Math must also be compulsory, and other language, this can be Rukwangari. So that means you have English as your medium of learning. It must be set compulsory, mathematics compulsory, and English or Rukwangari must be set to compulsory. 3 subjects will have to be compulsory here. And then we have grade 8 and 9. So for 8 and 9, these people have 9 subjects. So out of the 9, they are allowed to fail 2, and those 2 subjects must not be English. One of them must not be English. They can fail any other subjects, but not English. So that means for these grades, English is the only subject that must be set to compulsory. The other subjects must be promotional. Okay, English must be the only subjects in the compulsory option. The same applies to grade 10 and 11. English is the only subject that's set to compulsory. The other subjects will be promotional. Okay, now we go to the system. Let's see how the system is set up here. Now, under the promotional setup, we have rules. Now, under the rules, we have different rules here. There's fail. I think the opposite of fail is pass. The learner has either failed or passed. So you need to add this. You click here, add. And when you add the rule. There's fail, F. That's it. And then the pass, you do the same. You add it. It's pass, and then P. Done. And then there's promoted, not promoted. I think this is good for end of the year. And then there's transfer. This is also good for end of the year. We normally use this at the end of the year. And then rules. This is the most important part. Now under the rules, we will target for each grade. I'm going to start with grade 8. So we will focus on, let's start with the first rule, which is promoted. How was this? So you must set for each grade 8, I will set for rules for promoted and then rules for not promoted, or rules, like for now let's just set for pass and fail. Okay, so what you need to do is you click add. So after clicking add, you will not have this, but then make sure you set your result type to cycle. So we have 3 options here: cycle, and then total promotion mark score, put 40, skip these 2 for now, and then execution priority, put 1. So this will be the first one to be picked if the rule is satisfied. So put 1 here, and then result you put promoted. But this year, this term we will use pass and fail. So I'm going to put pass. Okay, pass, and then after that you come at the bottom. So I do have something that's already set up here. So but in your case, if it's not yet set up, you will not have anything here. So click add. So after clicking add, you will not have this, but what you need to do is under minimum percentage per subject, put 40 here. This is what a learner requires to get, and count is count. Okay, this is for grade 8. Now grade 8 have 9 subjects. Out of the 9, they are required to fail 2. promotional subjects, not compulsory, promotional subjects. So that means out of that, so that means under the subject group, choose promotional subject. Now that means on the policy says they are allowed to fail 2. So, and in total they are required to have 7 pass, 7 E's. So that means they need to have 6 promotional subjects. So they are required to have E's. How many E's? E's is an E is 40. How many E's? There must be 6. Tick this one and then add another one. So when you add another one, okay, when you add another one again, under the subject group, choose compulsory. That means 6 promotionals, they must have it. The 7th one, they may fail it. It's okay. So, but this compulsory subject for grade 8, there's only one compulsory subject, which is English. So it's 1. We put 1 here. Count 1. So we will say this subject, which is under this compulsory, which is English in this case, must have an E for them to pass. So now in total you will have 6 plus 1 here. 6 plus 1. So 6 plus 1. Sorry. Okay. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 subjects, they need to have E's. So the 8th and the 9th one can be failed, but those 8th and 9th subjects are under the promotion, so not compulsory. So the compulsory subject is set to 40% and it's on the requirement here. Okay, so when you set this one and done, then you are good to go. So that is grade 8 on the pass. And now on the fail, there is not much to be done on the fail. Grade 8, let me just show you what we have on the fail. You also need to do the same. You have to add. Now the cycle, its result type is cycle, execution, priority, you put it 2, and this is fail. Okay, set the result to fail, and that's it. You don't need to put anything else, just like that. Now on the fail part, still grade 8, so you can see this is the part that I've set to fail. So there is nothing much to be done. So all you need to do is just the cycle, execution, priority to 2, and it's fail. That's it, done. You do the same for all the grades, the pass and the fail. Grade 9 the same, grade 10 the same. So grade 10 also, this is a cycle. 41 priority 1, this is promoted, but this time around I'm just going to change it to pass. And then okay, I've set up everything to pass and fail. So now it's ready. So I'm going to just quickly check my grade 11 promotional requirements. So the policy says according to the policy, it says E symbol, 5 out of 6 subjects must have E symbol. These are promotional subjects, and then 1 compulsory subject. In these 5, there must be a compulsory subject, which is English. So in total, we need to have 5. 4 promotionals, 1 compulsory, that is 6. And E is 40%. So I'm just going to quickly set it up. Grade 11. So promotional is 40%, not 60. 40%. and compulsory subject. So let me start with the promotional subject. This is promotional subjects. I must have 40%. And how many promotional subjects do I have? I need to have four promotional subjects, and then that's grade 11. And then the fifth one is a compulsory subject, which is English. Must also be E, and it's just one. So in total we have 5. 4 plus 1 is 5 out of the 6. So basically, thank you very much. That's it.